This is a mini series within the mini series about how to working with text-based files or some kind of files in the command line or using Python script, making it easy to load and read data files for data scientists. One of the things I want you to think about when you read or write a file, when you read a file, you should think about, am I reading the entire file in memory together or reading it line by line? Is the output iterable or it just going to come out as a chunk? When you're writing a file, I want you to know if you're writing the entire file, overwriting it, it's very easy to overwrite the entire file by mistake in command line. Or are you appending to the file, sort of like appending to a string, appending to a list? Or are you just trying to update one line of the file? So that's kind of some important operations to think about. Right now, I have this object ID file I want to work with, but it's kind of big. So it's not very good for demo purpose. Let me create another file. The commands touch. So I say, like, let's say, um, my file.txt, not very creative. And you can use nano my file.txt to open it up. You can have a string here, hello world, and then Control X on Mac, yes, and then close it. Hit enter to close it. So now I have two files because of the touch command, and then because of the touch command. I can use cat to briefly preview my file in the command line. And because we're data scientists, a lot of times we're working with Python, so it'd be great to know how to do this Pythonically. You can write a script, or I can launch the command line like this. Command line prompt for Python 3. What we can do is we say with open. You want to be in the directory or link correctly into the path of the file. In this case, I'm already in the directory when I launch the command line prompt, so I should be able to do this as F. So whenever you use the as keyword in most programming languages, you're creating an alias. The with keyword creates a namespace. So it's saying within this namespace, you can refer to the file as F, and that's kind of nice. Um, so then you can just use that as an alias instead of typing the entire object. Cool. We should be able to just read lines into the data. There are some nuances between read lines, read line, the singular form, and I should ideally be able to just dump it out. But it's very important as a reminder to always close your files after you're done working with it. After you're done reading, done writing, close the file. So it's very nice. So this way you can see the read lines, read my file successfully and sort of output a list. And let's read a little bit of that documentation. Python read lines documentation. Command F, read lines. I think read line reads a single line from the file. And read lines should read all the line. In the file we were working with earlier, unfortunately, we have to do more cleaning up on it because when I read line of that file, here I can show you, it just reads everything because everything is in the line. There is no break. And we, as data scientists, we want to add line breaks. And why do we want to add line breaks? That is a really good question. And let's explore that in just a second. So notice I'm using singular form. Unfortunately, it will still give me a huge amount of data because everything is in one line. It is not line separated. So when we try to load this file, I previewed earlier, it has like some kind of curly brackets, total number of records, and then have this list of object IDs. Even if we strip out all the special characters, the first line where it tells us the metadata of this, and then we strip on the strip out the square bracket and the curly bracket, just having a nice comma separated numbers. When we try to load this into a CSV file, like an engine that expects CSV comma separated value file, we're still gonna get an error. Why? It will say number of columns cannot exceed, let's say, 1,000 columns. So because it's a comma separated value doesn't mean it can automatically read comma separated values. It actually starting to think after every comma is a new column, and that is a value corresponding to that column. So instead of just comma separated values, we also want line separated. So each row should only contain one object ID because that's it. We are trying to create a column of object IDs. We need one object ID per row. And we don't actually need comma in this case because there's not another column. If there's another column, we'll do comma, include the value to the column, and then we'll create a new line. A new line is /n. So that is the goal of this mini series of file manipulation tutorials, like how to replace these commas with /n instead. For this tutorial, I want to do one more thing, is I want to show you how to quickly write a file in Python. So I go ahead again, I use clear to clear up everything with a clean environment to work with. And now I want to enter the Python command line again, prompt, and then I want to do this thing. Okay, I want to now open the new file, and this file doesn't exist yet. I'm going to call it writing sample as F, not very creative, F short for files. And I want to just write something to this file like hello world writing sample. And remember what I should do next? I should close this file. Great. And it doesn't like that because I think it wasn't created yet. So we can definitely go back and use the touch command again, but there is a way to create. So let's see, Python open create file. Seems to be a pretty common question. Yes, I think you just have to include like a parameter. Yes, so you just have to use the W plus mode, write plus. So it doesn't quite say that. Interesting. Yeah, there are different modes we can specify. Let's definitely give that a try. I think it's plausible. And usually I do see very often people include the mode because you can like, say, I'm just reading only or writing only. So let's try this super quick. I'm going to copy over this. And remember to close my file. Okay, so that was interesting. It wrote 26. I wonder if it's like how many characters it wrote. We can always do that. Yeah, 26. Cool. Now let's exit the command prompt list. And now if I cat, which is to view this file writing sample, I should see hello world sample, and there's a percentage sign. Interesting. I wonder if that's like something that's not supposed to happen. But so you might ask, why is it important to write this via command line? Now we can just use Sublime Text and PyCharm. We write our text and code files. Well, like when the data is really large, the data you're processing is really large, and the data file you're writing can be created iteratively using a Python list and Python script, you should use this kind of programmatic way to write out the file. And one of the things that are very useful is, for example, my interns have seen this again and again. When you try to upload a file into the cloud, it generally expects some kind of set CSV format. And it might ask you to do this. It might ask you to write the URL to the image you're trying to train. comma, the label name. So we can do that super quick. So imagine now I try to use this. We can just type that with open, and then we're trying to say, okay, upload CSV, and so writing mode as want to write one things, right? Two things. So first of all, I want the header row to be something like image URL or labels if I'm training a computer vision task. And then I can write again, right? Because I haven't closed the files again. But be sure, let's double check we're appending to the file. Python write append to file. So I think adding a new line helps. In this sense, we should add a new line. Let's see. Yeah, so the mode, the file modes that we have seen, maybe we don't need the W plus, but okay. So when we open the files, when we're writing to it, we should use the append mode. If it doesn't exist, create a file, and then we can always append to the end. So plus is also open the file for reading and writing. So that's kind of helpful. Cool. We can do two things here. I believe we can keep writing, but I could be wrong. Let's see. So ideally, I can do a test URL. Let's say PNG file, comma, cat, or something like that. F close. And it wrote quite a bit in it. So this is helpful. We can go back to the command line to cat the file, or we can just like with open, where was it? Upload .csv. Let's say just read. Yes, just read as file and F read lines, just reading everything, and then F dot close. So that's pretty good. It write everything. Notice there is still one problem. This would not fly very well when we upload it because, again, everything is in one sentence. It's not in line separated values. Generally, I seeing a lot of software in the cloud and machine learning models expect every new record to be on a new line. So line break is important. And you can just write that like this. So I want to show you two things. First of all, if I were to load this again, I can easily override it. And that's not what I want, but it can happen. So we need to be very careful with that. Sorry about the misalignment. Yeah, Python rejected my code. Rightly so, rightly so. Okay. Seeing when I copied over, there was some issue. Okay, better. Okay, better. And I think what happened, this could easily overwrite the file, which is not what we want. Let me show you real quick. So now if I open this, I can, by now I should write a function because it just repetitive work and it's frustrating. Oh, it's already, sorry about the 2 out there. So we can see that everything got rewrote. Ignore this second line, but everything I had before no longer exists. Unfortunately, the URLs got overridden. So that's why earlier I was trying to hint earlier that it is important to think about whether we're overwriting the whole file or appending a file. especially in command line, it's very easy to destroy accidentally destroy data files without even noticing it happen, because there's no error message and confirmation unless we explicitly program it. So here we go. I have f equal to right. um Now if I'm appending, this is going to be nice. I should be able to just add on to the file without overriding it. One thing I want to add on is this slash n. It's a special character. It just means new line. So this way, all my files, in my file, all the data fields are going to start at a new line. So I have my header, image URL, comma, labels. And when I write this new line, it will create a new line. And then I should be able to write the other stuff, which is my markup image URL. Yeah, always surrounded in quotes, or especially double quotes might be better in case there's a apostrophe. Okay, so now if I can like say open file, takes a path URL, right? And then I can say with open path and read. This is just a read mode is fine. And then as f. So the file is loaded as f dot read line, the first line or lines that would just read iterable list of lines, and then close. And oops, I should actually store that so I can return it. Okay, and then I want to say f dot close, because return data. Once I return, I can't do much here anymore. So now I technically can just say upload the CSV, and it returned nothing. Why is that? Upload a CSV, read lines. Data store. Oh, I think what happened was I cannot have the read line here twice. Because once it's read, it's already gone. It's already kind of, the cursor either moved or the file has been processed. It's not going to work. So I have to do this. Can't just call it twice. This is a good little caveat. Okay, I think I already stored it. I should be able to return data. And this time, open file, dot upload, dot CSV should work. Yes, great. I cannot read it twice. The first time I read it, it's already extracted. And the second time I try to store it, it's already empty. There's nothing, no lines to read. The cursor has already moved to the last spot and it's done. So this one, it's a slightly better. Yeah, definitely slightly better. And then we can always, if we just reading it as a file, and then we can, here, just exit this real quick and cat the upload CSV. And it's kind of nice. It's getting what I want. It's starting to look at the file that cloud providers expect me to upload.